Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today we find ourselves again deserted in Arabia to witness a match between Bad Koala playing as the Blue Slavs and Ozone playing as the Red Chinese. Now all the players explore their immediate vicinity, look for goats and other herdables, and try to go up to feudal as fast as possible. Let's take a look at the civs and the matchups we're going to watch today. The Slavs, in my opinion, agree, disagree, one of the weakest bonuses and civ features in the game. It's an infantry civ with a very weak archer line and a mediocre cavalry line. Now, I say mediocre instead of shitty because they do have bloodlines and husbandry as well as all 6 upgrades. That being said, they do have 3 somewhat decent civ features. Their farmers work 10% faster, their siege units cost 15% less, and they get supplies for free, which means that their militia line from the outset of the game cost 15 less food. Now, in terms of castle tech, again, a very mediocre, meager offering. First, they can replace 40% of their castle stone costs with wood. What that means is instead of their castles costing 650 stone, they cost about 400 stone and 250 wood. Now, their towers also benefit from this, so instead of costing 50 wood and 125 stone, they cost only 75 stone and 100 wood. Now, you might say this is actually a fantastic technology. Stone is the rarest resource in the game. To that, I would say 2 things. Number one, first, you have to build an actual castle to research this technology, which means you're already spending 650 stone just to get your first castle. And second, in Castle Age, when you have your first castle or multiple castles out, are you really building towers at that stage of the game? Probably not, although I would say some civs, like the Japanese, the Koreans, might disagree. So that's their first technology. Their second one is a tech that allows their infantry to do trample damage to adjacent units. I believe it's 5 damage to units within half a tile. So not a lot, but a decent amount. One cool civ bonus that the Slavs actually do have, I will give credit where credit is due, is their barracks, their stables, their archery ranges, and their siege workshops act like houses. They do give you +5 population space. What that means is if you're planning any kind of early aggression in the game, you don't have to spend your time building these guys, which are houses, as long as you're building in military infrastructure. Of course, the military infrastructure does cost 6 times more than a house, if not more, so take that with a grain of salt. Their unique unit is actually pretty cool. I'll give them that. The Slavs, it's the Boyar. It's a relatively fast unit, incredibly strong melee armor. I think it might be the strongest melee armor, base armor of any cavalry unit in the game. It has an 8 base armor when it gets up to elite. That you heard that right, an 8 base armor against melee attacks. And it actually has a pretty decent attack. It attacks on a 12 and a 14 once you upgrade to elite. Now, facing our blue Slav, we have our red Chinese player. The Chinese, one of the OG OP civs with a lot of good economic bonuses that can help them boom and just produce a shit ton of military. First of all, they start the game with 3 extra villagers, but a lot less food and wood. Their farms automatically start with 10% more food. And their technologies, one of the cool things about them, they become progressively cheaper all the way up to 20% in Imperial. And these guys, the town centers, instead of supporting the usual population, they support 10 population. Now, militarily, the Chinese have 2 very good defensive upgrades. First of all, their stone walls do have extra HP. I believe it's 30%. And second, a very cool upgrade they can research in Imperial Age. Their scorpions can attack the Scorpions can get a bonus on their attack of +4, and their unique unit, which is the Chokanu, can get a +2. Now, that unique unit, as I mentioned, is the Chukonu. I've heard it pronounced about 17 different ways, anything from Chockies or Chuckies all the way to Chukanus. In any event, it's a foot archer that fires multiple arrows. Once you upgrade it to elite, it fires 5 arrows. Now, unlike other archer units, it is incredibly powerful against rams because one cool feature of the Chuki, I'll call it that, is that its arrows actually have melee damage at a 0, but for the rams, the way the game works, they do damage to rams. So every volley from an elite Chukanu injures a ram by 15 which helps them take down rams incredibly fast compared to other civs. So those are the civs that we're, gonna watch play today. I would say civ advantage rather goes to Ozone, our red Chinese. However, if you take a look at the top of your screen, Elo advantage goes to bad Koala by almost 300 Elo points. So it'll be interesting to see how these players navigate their respective civilizations. I heard the hissing sound that someone has gone up to feudal, and that someone is our blue Slavic player, bad Koala. That being said, Ozone is not far behind. In 5 seconds, he'll also be in feudal, and then let's see what happens, whether the players decide to boom for a while, whether they decide to go aggro and just beat the hell out of each other for our entertainment. We have a stable going down for our red Chinese player, which is, at this point, the only military building in addition to the standard opening barracks. And if you take a look, you'll see that our blue Slav already has up to 40 population room. That's because he built the stable and the barracks. So like I said, each one of these gives the player an extra 5 population room. And what are the players doing? Our Slav is producing scouts and a spear. An interesting wall off. A little L-shaped wall off here. I'm not too sure I like this. I mean, he must have seen he's seen this mountain here. I wouldn't be so quick to give up this high ground. This is a potentially dangerous high ground where your opponent can put towers, castles, units even. So not a big fan of this wall off. That being said, I'm sure the player has his reasons. Miner engaged here at the front of his base. And before we dive into the actual engagement, let's take a very quick look at their bases. Horrible location here for bad Koala. Completely open on the east and southern portion. A little bit of tree clumping here lets him wall off, but this is dangerous. If your opponent attacks this one weak palisade, or even along the western portion of this palisade, you are not going to get there in time with any of these villagers to repair. So yeah, he had to do it, of course, no choice. He decided to wall off, but look how open his south and east portion of the map is. That being said, Ozone is in an equally shitty position. His entire western, northern, and southern portion of his base are completely open, and he has literally the exact same problem, except he's got villagers here. So if there's an attack on this kind of weak standalone palisade wall, these wood lumberjacks are going to get there much quicker. That being said, is he interested in doing a full wall off? He is at the moment not fully walling off. A bad Koala is. I wonder if that's because he plans on booming, or if that's because he plans on putting a lot of frontal aggression and he does not want to deal with any kind of nonsense at home. 2 spearmen protecting the gate in case these guys show up. Let's see which player reacts, how they react, who dies. Okay, I'm not too sure why Ozone had his units on no attack stance, but immediately loses 1 scout cavalry, a second gets damaged almost to death, a third gets about half the HP, and the 4th is laughing all the way to the bank. They are now heading home to potentially deal with these 3, although he's got 2 spearmen, so he shouldn't be rushing home too much. Yeah, I wonder if he just doesn't want to micro them, or if he thinks there are more units out on the map. But for now, good zoning here by Ozone to get rid of these scout cavalry. So both players putting on very similar aggression, both players using very similar unit compositions. 2 spear, 3 scout cav for our Chinese player, and 2 spear, 2 scout for our Slav player. So essentially identical army comps. Immediately loses. Let's see what he can do if he saves this and becomes even more annoying. No, he doesn't save it. Immediately dies. Okay. Spearmen out on the map realize they ventured a little too far from the safety of home and immediately retreat. This is a good place for a castle, I would say. Either this mountain, or a tower. I mean, again, like I said, the Slavs, once they get to the castle and can research, I forget the name of the upgrade, but it does replace 40% of the stone cost with wood, so they can start defending with structures, immovable, big, beefy, tanky stone buildings that fire arrows on anyone who tries to attack them. Ozone, I don't know if he's looking for a way in. Let's see what of Koalas he's scouted. So I'm going to zoom out. Apologies to anyone on a smaller screen. So Ozone has scouted the front of the map. The front of the base, rather, has not scouted the west and has not scouted the north, at least beyond an initial scout. What has our Slavic player scouted? Similarly in the dark, he's seen the western portion of Ozone's base, but has not seen the south and has not seen the north. So both players, I think, not really going to engage into each other very much at the moment. I say that because they're building spearmen and they haven't explored each other's base. This is not the stratagem of somebody who is planning on being incredibly aggressive. When you're aggressive, you want as much information as possible. You want to know where the weak points are, where the strong points are. Imagine you think you can attack into here, you show up with a feudal army only to find out that it's walled off, and now all of a sudden you've invested a whole bunch of resources into units that are crap. Okay. We're seeing a spearman gangbang over here, 3-on-1. Let's see if they do manage to kill him or if he just runs away. Because they do run at the walk. Oh, no, okay. At the same speed, it might be difficult, but he's cornered himself. Okay, they tickle each other a little bit. And now the spearman will run away. So far, we're about 20 minutes into the game. Our Slavic player and our Chinese player go up to castle literally 2 seconds apart, just underneath 20 minutes. And here we go. Our Slavic player wants to put on some forward pressure. Monastery going down, siege workshop going down. So I wonder if he'll use the civ bonus of 15% cheaper siege units to put any kind of pressure on our Chinese player. That being said, okay, we've got a knight harassing a scout cavalry who is literally going in circles, so he is wasting a whole bunch of time. 2 town centers going down. Fantastic. I love the placement, the gold, the wood, plus it allows you to defend. The only problem here is that, you know, it's surrounded by high ground, so it's in a bit of a depression here, which makes it a little bit vulnerable. This one is also fantastic. Anytime you can kill 2 resources with 1 stone, and I don't include food because you can put down farms anywhere to the north, to the south, the left, the right. Anytime you can get 2 or even 3 resources with 1 town center, obviously, that's a good play. Our Chinese player not opting to go for additional civilian structures. He is instead building military. He's got a lot of archery ranges. And here's the reason why. Amazing. We're seeing cavalry archers 21 minutes into the game, but he's got to be careful. They do extra damage. I believe 2+2 against the spearman line. But these scorpions are going to zone them out very quickly. The scorpions move at 0.65. These guys move at a 1.5. So literally almost 2.5 times faster than the scorpions are the cavalry archers. That being said, they are still archer units, so let's see what he can get done. Sniping villagers here and there might be good. Like I said, this hill ground, this high ground is going to be problematic for blue. Will he get him? No. So he gets 2 villagers for his troubles. Made the trip. Might get a 3rd here. Does he notice? No, he does not notice. He's busy attacking the palisade wall, putting pressure on at the front with a bunch of pikemen. I mean, okay, not the best units to attack into a mangonel, especially one that's behind a barricade like this one. And what are our players doing? I mean, you've got the relic. You can drop it off, go get another one. You don't have to hold on to it. No one's coming to thief it. Random house in the middle of the map, random scout in the middle of the map. And the cavalry archers have managed to break in, but do they actually want to go in? There's nothing here really for them to kill. These villagers can run away straight into the town center, and now you've got scorpions inside the base that are ready to mow down these cav archers if Ozone doesn't pay attention, even looks away from his screen for 1 second. Those scorpions are going to demolish, completely eviscerate these cav archers. So let's take a look at our economy, because it looks like both players are very interested in going very aggressive. Oh, we got a 1-for-1 exchange of mangonels. Always fun to see. And here we go. I mean, obviously, army number advantage here for red, but yeah, you can't let the pike close in on you because 2 or 3 swipes of those long poles, those pikes, and you're donezo. So far, I would say a fairly even exchange for both players. I mean, a mangonel and a bunch of cav archers for some pike, a mangonel, monks, a knight. I mean, the kill count is obviously in favor of Ozone, but oh, nice, he gets a Koala gets a convert, but he's losing expensive units. These are not cheap, these cav archers, but I love the use of the high ground here. Brilliant play by Ozone. As I was saying, let's take a, I'm going to zoom out real quick, take a look at the economies, because when you go very aggressive military, you can't sustain it without a very robust economy. So 3 town centers now for our Chinese player. University going down. Villager count at 55 going up to almost 60, but bad Koala with the 4th town center is already sitting at 70 villagers going up to 74. Wow, so he's at literally about 30% villager advantage, but that's coming at a cost. Red's military count is 19 to 7, 20 to 7, and in large enough quantities, I mean, you can get a converter too, but it's not going to matter. These are tanky units. They're expensive for a reason, right? He shoos them away with a very small force. I'm surprised that Red didn't engage into this. He could have easily wiped these out. He would have probably lost 5 or 6 of his own. Actually, I take that back. I'm making a revision to my statement. Half of these are about dead. So yeah, smart move for him to run away. And he's just putting the... oh, good catch here by Red. Let's see if he notices that there's another scorpion here. Okay, does not. Or does he? Okay, yeah, he notices that there's another scorpion here. Got one already. Will he get a second one? Okay, gets a second one. Decides to go for the monks. I don't think he's going to get these monks. No, that pikeman together with the cav archers just... I mean, those scout cavalry were weak already. But here comes our Chinese player with a very weak army, but he's got the numbers. A random pike being ignored while they attack the scorpions. But this is what I said. You shouldn't be afraid to engage when you've got this much quantity, this much mass. Although now you might want to disengage. 3 scorpions here, especially when they line up nice and juicy for those multiple unit hits. That being said, he just has too much. Koala would be wise to maybe wait until he's got 3 or 4 of these, or at least 2, before he attacks into this giant group of cav archers. What are the upgrades? They're at a +2, +1, so they're quite dangerous. Oh, let's see if they manage to stop the castle. It's at 4,500. They are not going to stop it. And let's see if he decides to stay here. No. Oh. Wow, look at that beautiful micro by Ozone. Fantastic. Didn't even take a single bolt of damage, a single arrow of damage from that castle. But now he's here, he's attacking the structures, but at the end of the day, cav archers are great for specific purposes. Taking down buildings, they are not great at that at all. I mean, after all that time, they managed to knock the HP down by less than 100. So they would be better served doing something else. Maybe create a different unit to take down these structures, but he ignores my advice and brings in 15 cavalry archers. Another town center going down next to the gold pile. But he's got to be careful. 4 scorpions are building inside of here, and 4 scorpions in the right placement, right position could demolish this cav archer. Oh, let's see if he notices the blue villager. Oh, he went back, so he notices. Yeah, I mean, this is what these guys are created for, what they're born and bred for, why they're on a horse with long range and a crazy attack is to just snipe, snipe, snipe. Do not attack structures with them. They are weak, like all, or I should say not all, but most archers are against buildings. I mean, look how long it's taking to tickle away at this siege workshop. I'm very curious. I see a castle building here to the north. I want a very cocky outpost. That's not going to go up. I really do want to see the rest of the map, but I want to see when the 4 scorpions come out of the siege workshop. Okay, loses 1. 2, 3. Wow, terrible engage here for Koala. Loses all 4 Scorpions. Did he get a single kill? No, he did. Yes, he did. He got 1 kill. Wow, that was a horrible engage. Ozone brilliant, spreading out his archers, not clumping them in one particular location. But tell me what you think in the comments. Can you win a game with cav archers? I mean, unless your opponent resigns, but by the time you demolish any structure here, you can go for the snipes on the villager. You can disrupt the economy. You can screw around with your opponent's ability to create military. But you're not going to take down a castle. You're not going to take down a monastery. Unless you plan on leaving these guys here for the rest of the entirety of the game. Here we go. Neighboring castles, just like another match I previously casted a short while ago. Wow, look at the army count for both players. We have 5 units for Bad Koala, one of which is a monk. And we got 28 cav archers for our red Chinese player. Now, both players going up to Imperial, again, literally seconds apart. Very aggressive. Castle goes down. This castle is not going to survive. Let's see if he cancels it and collects a bit of stone back. Wisely choosing not to build any more Scorpions out of here. But look at the top left of your screen. Look at these cavalry upgrades out of our blue slab. I wonder if this means we're going to see Boyars. I hope not for his sake, because they are more of a melee unit. Heavy duty melee unit. We'll see what these are for. Likely Hussars if I had to guess. Definitely not Paladins, because like I said, the cav line of the Slavs is horseshit. They don't even get Paladins, although they do get all the upgrades. These cavalry archers are now +2/+2, so they're super dangerous. I mean, I know I should cast the rest of the game and see what else is going on, but my eyes keep getting drawn back to the center of this map. Okay, we have a cav archer here just hanging out. Okay, I mean, there's a gap here. Okay, he's going knights? Ugh. I mean, tell me what you think. Obviously, 2 knights against 15 cavalry archers are going to do jack shit. Manages to pick off a couple of the weaker ones. But here come the Scorpions. They are going to zone out those cav archers quite well. This castle is at 800 HP and falling. And oh, sneaky. I wouldn't call this a forward base. I'd call it maybe a... What would you even call this base? I mean, it is technically forward, but it's kind of a side sneaky base. We'll see if this is just what he plans on doing with a town center all the way out on the map here. Super interesting placement. Not particularly useful in terms of resources. I mean, he would have, if he wanted the gold, would have been better served placing it here, but then it would be very close to these stone miners who, you know, red has not seen any of this. So let's see. We'll keep an eye out on that and see if any kind of surprises come out. Trebuchet comes out. All it takes is 1 volley and that castle goes down. Blue, either looking away or not paying attention, did not recover the HP from that castle, so it dies. All 650 stone is gone. Not that he cares if he researched the upgrade, but here we go. Let's see an engagement. 6 Scorpions, 4 immediately go down, but here come the Knights. They're now +1/+2, so they will be a lot tankier. They can take more of a punch from these cav archers, which are now heavy cav archers. So fantastic. 7 range. Oh, no. Oh, that is unfortunate for blue. Oh, what a massacre of Scorpions here. Did he not see the castle building? Oh, look at that. The Red's castle just barely getting into this town center. I mean, I was worried that Red would put a castle here on this hill, but he's instead chosen to put a castle on this hill. 3 Trebs. How's Koala going to respond to this? There's the mini-map is exploding. You have a cav archer being annoying here. Oh my god, we have a sneaky proxy stables being built right to the north of Blue's base. I mean, he must see. Yeah, he sees one of them. These knights aren't going to do shit against the cav archers, but they will take down this Trebs. So, well sacrificed. They become cavaliers halfway through the fight. I bet he wished he could have waited a few more seconds, but no, those Trebs needed to die. But look how many cav archers. He's sitting at 42 cav archers. Fully upgraded. +4, +3, +4. Okay, so we're going light cav for now. Most likely we'll upgrade that at some point. These two structures are still here. And now red has discovered this proxy frontal side reach around sneaky base, whatever you want to call it. Look how little damage these cav archers do to the battering ram. He needs the Chukanus to get rid of those, or he just needs some kind of melee unit. He's finally building halbs, and he's finally building light cavalry of his own. But this Treb is very exposed if blue notices. Blue notices. Treb's gonna go down. Villagers are gonna get massacred. Red is the one all of a sudden not noticing the attack here. He's probably focused here, trying to make sure these offensive military structures don't go down. Or rather, don't go up, that they do go down. And what is our red Chinese player going to do? Another siege workshop and 2 stables. What is the point of this? I mean, I know what the point of this is, but what's he going to do? He's focusing entirely on other areas of the map. Well, I'm looking at the stable that's not doing anything. We have a huge engagement here in the center of the map near our red Chinese player's base. He cuts off his heavy cavalry, splits them off, gets rid of the pressure to the west. Now he'll get rid of the pressure to the east, assuming these oh, now they're hussars. Oh, these are going to be such a pain in the ass to deal with. 6 pierce armor. 6 pierce armor against the unit that does 11 damage. So 5 damage a shot when it lands, and they have 95 HP. So 19 shots from one of these cav archers to take down a single hussar. So you can imagine just how annoying that is to deal with. That being said, look at the mini-map exploding. This is still under attack. Now this is under attack. Red is building a very cool castle here. That is going to nullify this entire proxy expansion. That being said, he's finally producing stuff out of these structures, and he's plopping down even more structures. Excuse me. Plopping down even more structures, but he's got to be careful because blue's got 3 trebs here, and they are going to just destroy these structures ASAP. What the hell was that? I guess this isn't walled. Red's light cav managed to get in here, but they're going to do jack shit against these blue hussars. These blue hussars are still alive. 11 kills from the surviving members of the original battalion of, I think it was around 8 or so. Random priest, where are you going? That's where you're going. Castle's finally up. And now red is moving forward with the siege rams. Yeah, red is just everywhere. Blue was trying to get cheeky, a little bit cheeky with this forward expansion. Red said, you know what? I like that idea. I'm going to do that myself. Immediately plops down 2 stables, a siege workshop. Yeah, and like I said, you can't build here because these trebs, once they notice, does he see? No, he doesn't see this one. That's a very weird. Now he sees it, immediately fires 2 big rocks, and this is going to go down, and it's done. Now red is in blue's base. Chaotic. This game is very chaotic. And this is why I said at around the 20, when was I? Around the 25-30 minute mark, let's take a look at their economies, because whichever player builds the better economy is going to have a lot more long-term success. Bad Koala went crazy overboard with villagers. He's going up to 150. I mean, that might be overkill, especially if you're playing spam units. 150 villagers leaves you 50 space for military, which is great if you're building scorpions, if you're building you know, your unique unit, if you're building ram siege, if you're building trebs. But if you're building trash units like hussars out of how many stables? 9 stables going up to, I would say you need 110 villagers, 120 villagers, and that way you can just completely swamp your opponent. Yes, finally we get to see some Chukanus. Oh, they're just so brutally powerful. And they're elite, so they fire 5 arrows. But let's see what they can do. This is a lot of scorpions out of our blue player. Let's see what he can get done with them. Just sit back and enjoy the carnage. Treb goes down. I mean, they're not the best at killing trebs. Look how slow they are. Yeah, good. Bring your hussars. But he's got to be careful. These Chukanus are gonna massacre these scorpions. I mean, they're gonna die probably, but a very good trade here for Ozone. And now the cav archers coming in from the right side. They're gonna demolish these hussars slowly, not super fast. Like I said, 19 shots, I think, to kill a single hussar. But that dynamic, that mathematics changes the second the Chukanus show up. That being said, he's done building them here because that castle just bit the dust. But yeah, 39 cav archers, 30 halberdiers going up to 30 light cav, and 20 Chukanus. So our red player, in my opinion, has the more balanced and better economy slash military. He's sitting at 110 villagers, allowing him to go up to 90 military to blue's 25. So blue, if I had to guess, unfortunately, I think he's going to lose this game, and he's going to lose it with a lot of resources in the bank. Resources that he could have spent had he had the population room. Not that he's population capped by any means. He still has 30 more to go. But yeah, red is just... yeah, red is swarming. This is what I meant. Okay, yeah, GG. I mean, look at PKPM here for Ozone. 207, 73 cav archers, 126 hussars. I mean, these are great statistics. Look at the kill count. 270 for our red Chinese, 135, literally half for bad Koala. And I think that's just by virtue of the fact that he had much fewer units. I mean, if you're going to spam trash, you don't need gold, you don't need stone. You can always reallocate. What you need is wood, food, a lot of food, which he had, I think, about 60 villagers, and then you needed a little bit on wood to sustain your farm production. Now, the farms at this stage of the game are super, what's the word, bountiful. They produce a lot of food, so you don't need a lot of wood to replenish them because they're not replenishing super fast. I think the better villager allocation here was Red's. Look at his villager allocation. He's got 44 on food, 19 on gold, amassed 2,000 worth of gold. I would have liked maybe to see a bit more on wood, but he won the game, so who am I to second guess? But look at this fantastic unit composition. He went pure archer. I mean, it says he's got 34 halberdiers. Where the hell are they? Let's take a look. Join me on my journey towards looking for halberd. Here they are. So he built them in the base. Sorry, I'm trying to click on them. There's 10 here. Yeah, there's more being built. I love the forward position here by Ozone. Just did not relent in his aggression. This ultimately, these two stables, the siege workshop must have been gunned down, but these stables didn't do too much. They did some light harassment here. You can see the remnants of one of their uniforms on this farm, fertilizing whatever crops our Slavic blue player is growing. But ultimately, yeah, just numbers wise, I think Ozone had the better composition. He had the better idea. 145 villagers is a lot for bad Koala. I think he may have gone overboard. I wonder if he thought he had more time, or if he didn't expect our red player to just produce 90 army supply and just swamp him. Rebuilding that castle. Red has a bunch of castles all over the map. I mean, look at your mini map. I'm going to zoom out. Again, sorry to anyone on a smaller screen. Red has the entire north. He's got his original base. He's got the center, and he's got the south. And he's slowly starting to push into the west. Our blue player was, you know, Ozone put bad Koala in a corner. Let's put it like that. And I think Koala would have been better served. Look, like I said, he died a wealthy man. He died a pharaoh with 1,200 food. That's easily, what is that, 15 hussars, extra hussars he could have built. He has the infrastructure. I like that. 9 stables is fantastic, but I think he needed fewer vills, more military. And I don't know that hussars would have necessarily been fantastic against the Chukanus. I think they could have held their own against the cavalry archers just by if he had the sheer volume, but Ozone did not give him a chance. Fantastic game here by both players. I think good move by blue not to go into his unique unit, which is more of a melee. He was facing archers, and as I said in the beginning of the game, the Slavic archer line is just dog shit. In my opinion, super weak. So he had to go siege. I mean, he's got a 15% discount on siege units, so why the hell not? But I wish we would have seen hussars out of him earlier. He did a little bit of raiding here on the eastern portion of the map. Would have loved to see more of that. I think he could have crippled our Chinese players' economy because it is fairly open. A lot of town centers, but that just means your villagers have to garrison, which means they're not doing work, which means they're not collecting food, wood, gold, stone, etc. So they're basically dead weight. But overall, GG. A fantastic, fun, action-packed game. What you love to see, especially out of a civilization like the Chinese. I mean, this is great play here. If you take a look at the top right of your screen, he's got all 15 blacksmith upgrades. He's got bloodlines. He's got ballistics. He's got all the economic upgrades he can get. Our Slavic player lacking a little bit in the upgrade department. Put up a good fight, but Ozone just steamrolled right over him. So GG to both, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.